Hi everyone, hope you managed to grab a coffee during that last break, and maybe something to remind you of days gone by, perhaps a croissant or a pain au chocolat. If like me, you're dreaming of bad coffee in conference rooms. Anyway, it's now my pleasure to introduce a pre-recorded intervention from Vice President of the European Commission, Dubravka, Šuica. She's responsible for demography and democracy at the Commission. And this is, I believe, the first time we've had the honour of an intervention from the Vice President. So our warm thanks to you, Commissioner, for taking the time to send us your intervention. Jerry, you can run the video now. Thank you.
Dear ladies and gentlemen, it is a pleasure for me to address Forum Europe's conference on the future city. These days, cities are a hive of all sorts of activities: economic activity, knowledge generation, innovation, citizens and community engagement. Cities engage many actors such as local governments, businesses, educational establishments and citizens to find solutions to help tackle the challenges of the 21st century, whether it is delivering on climate ambitions or building sustainable recovery and resilience in the post-COVID-19 world. Many cities have remade themselves during the pandemic. Offices have emptied, potentially giving way to affordable housing, community or nature. This accompanies a number of demographic challenges facing cities that can significantly impact their socio-economic growth and quality of life. We must pave the way to a better future city, one that is greener, healthier, more equal and productive and less polluted and lonely. Also, cities are vibrant places for citizens to deliberate on the future European Union they want to build for themselves and for future generations. I'm thinking about the Conference on the Future of Europe, in which the voice of cities must be heard. The most evident demographic challenge facing the European Union today is aging. Cities are facing both the opportunities and challenges of our aging population. Today, 20% of the European Union population is above 65. By 2070, it will be 30%. The share of people above 80 will likely double, reaching 13% by 2070. The aging trend plays out differently in urban and rural areas. The age gap between city and rural populations is lowering. Some cities are more affected by aging and depopulation than rural areas. The experience of cities is essential in finding solutions to the aging population in Europe. Only 1 in 5 European Union regions is projected to have a growing working age population between 2020 and 2040. These regions often include a capital city or another large city. In this context, cities, as major drivers of socio-economic growth, will have to look into the boosting participation of currently underrepresented groups in the labor market in order to sustain productivity. Another challenge is the population change that varies significantly between European Union territories. In rural areas, the population has been steadily decreasing. However, the population of urban areas grew by 3.8 million between 2014 and 2019. There are, however, differences across the European Union. Given the scale, speed, and impact aging will have across society, our policies must be fit for purpose in an era of major change ranging from the twin green and digital transitions to new forms of work and the threat of pandemics. Our lives have been touched in different ways by COVID-19. As we fight to protect lives and livelihoods, we must bear in mind a remarkable development. Never before have so many Europeans enjoyed such long and healthy lives. The Commission's work in demography was launched with a report on the impact of demographic change in June 2020, setting out key facts and figures on demographic change. It was followed in January this year by the Green Paper on Aging that opened a wide debate on the challenges and opportunities of Europe's aging society. Its public consultation closed on in April, and we are now analyzing the input and considering possible policy responses so the European Union can concretely support member states in their policy making. The full title of the paper is The Green Paper on Aging, Solidarity and Responsibility Between Generations. This highlights the importance we attach to intergenerational fairness. We need a forward-looking reflection on the impacts of aging and policy alternatives for the European Union and for its cities. And another of our forward-looking demography initiatives is the long-term vision for rural areas, which will be published at the end of this month. Our vision aims to be greater than the sum of all its parts and underpins both a green and just recovery for all. It is smart, sustainable, and takes the long view. It is all about creating a better future not only for the rural areas, but together with them, while ensuring they maintain their essential rural character. And to link this with cities, the development of rural areas is dependent on them being well connected to each other and to peri-urban and urban areas. This in turn improves access to a wider range of services for local communities. No two rural areas are alike, so we must harness their diversity and variations. This requires tailor-made responses and solutions for each territory's specific needs. The vision complements the European Green Deal that is Europe's growth strategy. With this vision, we hope to turn the changes into society, including the latest ones caused by COVID-19, into opportunities for rural areas. To somehow replicate what exists for cities through the European Union Urban Agenda by involving cities and the urban voices in the design and implementation of policies at the European Union and national levels. I'm convinced that demography is shaping our cities as much as it is shaping our territories. Working from home is likely to blur the traditional divide between residential and office districts. We are likely to see the emergence of multifamily housing and restaurants in mixed-use neighborhoods. The challenges for future cities are numerous, be it in combating environmental degradation or the loss of biodiversity. In addition, cities need to apply sustainable land use planning that promotes adequate access to green and recreational spaces for all citizens, including the aging population. And when it comes to resource consumption, some European cities already provide blueprints for a net zero carbon city, and this must be stepped up. Regarding public service delivery, cities must ensure equal access to such services like education, social services, healthcare, and culture for all social groups. When it comes to mobility, urban transport is a major emitter of greenhouse gas and air pollution. Cities need to move to more sustainable transport modes. Urban mobility systems should be efficient, carbon neutral, safe, and multimodal. Mobility patterns will also be affected by the aging population. Regarding infrastructure, affordable housing and energy supply should answer the needs of all, including the aging population. The majority of the building stock is old and in need of renovation and modernization. The current renovation rate is too low at 1%. To support the renovation process, the Commission adopted the communication on the renovation wave in October 2020. This is an action plan with the objective of doubling the current energy renovation rate by 2030. The novel new European Bauhaus movement complements the renovation wave strategy. Its ambition is to make the European Green Deal a cultural, human-centered, and tangible experience for all. It is a regeneration moment to recover from COVID-19 pandemic while becoming stronger and more socially just. And the final point. Forum Europe describes itself as the place where people and policy meet. This links to our work in the unprecedented exercise in deliberative democracy that is the Conference on the Future of Europe. The voices of people and their views on policies must be heard to make our democracy more responsive and more in line with the needs of citizens, today and in the future. I invite all of you to go online to our multilingual digital platform, organize events, upload your outcomes on the platform, and make the voice of cities heard. And I want to thank you for your patience.
Excellent. And thank you once again, Vice President. That was an exceptionally comprehensive contribution, I have to say. And I also, I hadn't heard that, but appreciate the plug to our tagline at the end there. So thank you very much for that also. It's now my pleasure to hand over to Alice Charles from the World Economic Forum, who will moderate the next session, looking at urban development policies post-COVID-19. And that session will start pretty much immediately, so don't go away. So we'll see you again very shortly.